So the vowel, oh, sorry, the vowel at the top is inching closer and closer to an eh. So really focus on that I.
Okay. Beat to bit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So remember we talked last time about kind of keeping the I in the E space because they're so close on this, like, I guess the vowel chart, vowel wheel. E, I, keeping it there. Because as soon as it goes to eh, it starts to want to go back a bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's better. Yep. Yeah, and just don't weigh it down too much.
Oh yeah. All right. Let me know one more time.
Okay, so it pulled, that was the tongue root pulling a little bit there.
Yeah. Well, that's what that is when that happens.
Yeah, when it goes,
Yeah.
the vowel, when you go to eh, isn't necessarily always tongue root. Sometimes it is. I think you're just making it easier to stay, by modifying the vowel, you're making it easier to stay in that mix, right? But if you keep it I, right, usually that happens around that formant, the turning over point, right? And it's your way of kind of preventing it from going into head voice, basically.
Okay.
Sort of subconsciously, unconsciously.
Okay. All right, let me try that.
That was it. Okay, do that one again. Make sure you keep the vowels as pure as you can.
Distorting a little bit, or?
On the way down, it's kind of in between an I and an E. So just make sure that it's the vowel that you're intending to sing.
Okay, let me try one more time.
What pitch is at the top?
D.
Sorry, was it?
D.
D?
G, God.
Oh, I was gonna say low. I was like, it can't be a D. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you hear how the vowel, the I vowel, is turning over right there? I don't know if you hear it's going into closed voice. Up until this point, it's been kind of on that cusp of open and closed, but mostly open. Yeah, I could just hear that shift. Yeah, so that means that you're doing the vowel the way you want to, or you should.
All right. Okay, so then it's the right way, right?
Well, yeah, because I want to hear that turning over. If I don't hear the turning over, again, what's happening is you're not singing the right vowel. You're modifying the vowel, even if unintentionally. If it doesn't turn over around here.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because if you sang the same pitch on eh, it would still be mixed voice. It wouldn't be turning over. It wouldn't close off acoustically.
Yeah, here I didn't have a choice. I've got like my two like markers which I just aim to. One's like over here, and that's actually the only one I'm aiming at. I'm not like pulling weight from here. So yeah.
Yep, same spot. So you went to there, and it
Okay.
stayed a little bit more open.
All right, let me try again.
It still went to Yeah, it's you got to keep it in that same E space.
Okay.
Closer, yep, it's better. That will
Should I try it again and move up?
just move up.
Okay.
So it went but sing it again and really focus on it being I, not which again is a little bit more of a back vowel. It's not all the way back. It's fronted still, but it's less fronted than E and
Okay. All right.
Okay, so what happened there was you went flat, right? Because you're trying to keep the but you weren't making the adjustments. Like right there, if you were to keep it and keep it and then let it acoustically turn over, so close off acoustically, it would require an incredible amount of intensity. Like it would, in terms of like the work that you're doing everywhere in your body.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so you kind of gave, like, kind of threw up your hands and just kind of let it go. So that's a decision that you have to make. Like, do you want to go into that place where you have to be super athletic by keeping it in at that point, or do you kind of just let that go a little bit and either go into head voice or modify the vowel and stay in more of an open mix?
I want to try going for him. So I'm gonna try the athletic thing.
It went to again.
I thought I made it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard right there because I think acoustically, like, and just like our bodies just don't want to go there. Like they just want to they want to modify.
Yeah. No, I even give it a push from the inside. Just trying to go from the diaphragm for it, but
Yeah, don't think too much about what the body's doing per se. Like really, for you, focus on the vowel, because I think your body does it on its own, and you're doing really well with making those adjustments just automatically by focusing on the vowel.
Okay.
Like if you focus on the vowel, it'll all work out right.
All right. Okay. Got it. Wow.
Closer. That was much closer to the right vowel, but you kind of feel like you kind of sort of still try to give up a little bit with it, because this is that point where, is it G sharp you're doing?
This is A.
A. Okay. Yeah. So this is like super crazy athletics, you know.
My 100-meter sprint or my long jumps at least. All right. Let me try it again.
Try this for a second. Go back to that A and sing it the way you were, which is more of an there.
Yeah.
And then consciously move it into more of shade it more toward E.
Okay.
And you don't necessarily have to go all the way to E, but if you're thinking E, what will probably happen is it will find itself at an I.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay, our connection went a little spotty there, but yeah, like you did, yeah, E, yeah, to like first right, to the, moved it to the E. It actually went all the way to E. So you can do it. You can keep that same fronted vowel.
Can I do it just E without going to or do I have to?
Yeah, you can. You can definitely do that, but it's going to be a slightly different result.
Phonation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna, yeah.
Okay.
It still went to but
in my head, that sounds like an E, like a I don't know.
Yeah, it still sounded to me a little bit, but it's closer.
Okay.
Yeah, so just keep it, if you keep the vowel exactly the same, things will change, and you have to kind of anticipate that things are going to change, and the quality is somewhat going to change at a certain pitch based on that turning over point.
Okay.
And that's the thing, like, it's kind of, I think that's what's hard for our ears to accept, is that, like, it's changing. Even so, we want to assist that change in some ways by changing the vowel.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about it on a conscious level, but I think that's what happens, is we're like, we're trying to make it easier in some ways for our bodies, and then also making that adjustment or the change in resonance or what have you feel less, I won't say disconcerting, but like less in your face.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's complicated. To me, it like sounds like I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's if you have a chance to like listen back to this, and you'll hear that the vowel is most definitely changing, and it's the hard thing. My teacher did that to me as well. Like, he held it up. He's like, "See, you're not singing the vowel that you thought you were singing." Like, oh.
Yeah.
Because we just naturally sort of modify to the easiest thing we can.
Yeah.
But then you're not training that athleticism. You're not training that strength and control and endurance in your voice. You're training what's a little bit easier.
Yeah. Okay. No, I get what you mean. I do want to train it as well. Could you do it once so I get the sound in my head again?
With the I?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to the
Right.
It's got to go into that It's a narrower, to me, it's a narrower kind of vowel.
Okay. All right, let me try it again.
Yeah, and watch the mouth too, that you're not, because as soon as you do that, it's going to want to go to too. Excuse me.
Let me try one more time. I think I'm going closer there.
Closer. Your E though is starting to go E. Keep it in that twangier space, we'll say.
Okay.
Okay, do me a favor. Do like a nice tongue stretch.
Okay.
like really feel that stretch in the back. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's so what's happening there. You're starting to get more of that, the tongue right engaged there.
Oh, okay.
E.
E.
Just like
All
C.
right. Okay. E.
Okay, so it still kind of went to A, but I would say let's go back down and let's switch to the O series.
Okay.
Your voice is possibly getting tired, and I don't want to fatigue it before you go through the other vowels.
All right. Okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh,
Okay, so it pulled back there on the top note. The ooh is good.
Okay.
Okay, do that one again and just watch it starting to shade a little bit toward an ah. So keep it a nice pure O.
Okay. Ooh,
Keep it in that O space because it's gonna want to go to ah.
all right. Okay. Ooh. Is that still going to ah? Is it at O?
It's staying the same, so it's not going further and further to ah. That's good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's just that tricky spot for you where, well, for all of us really, where it doesn't want to be in an O because it wants to open too much. Because it's so
Okay.
much more open than the oo at this point.
True. Can you do it once?
You were here, I think.
Okay. All right. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's still kind of shading a tiny bit toward all, but that's partly maybe how you form your O's too. So, just learning to be able to shade it more toward a pure like bone O. O, O, O. It's hard. I have troubles with my O's. They're not my friends.
All right. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
That and A's. A's are
Right.
less my friends.
Ooh, ooh.
Sing ooh bone ooh.
Okay. That'll be funny, but yeah, good. Ooh, ba, ooh, ba.
Okay, so do it again and really think in terms of the O vowel, bone, because it went to bone.
Okay. Ooh, ooh.
Do it with the word bone in it, just so you remember.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Ooh,
Ooh, ba. like I'm just like putting a B before the O, honestly, right there, instead of like actually saying the word bone.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about the ends part so much, but although bone can actually help you bring that O into an O space with the N, how it shapes. My nose is itchy.
Okay, let me try again. Ooh, ooh,
Can you hear how it's ba instead of bo?
yeah, I think. I think.
In the context of a vocal phrase, it's not going to matter that much. But
Okay.
again, this is about training masterful control to be able to sing any vowel you want on those pitches, so that you're not having to modify to an ah all the time. So that if you really want to sing a pure O on that pitch, you can. And so that's why I'm like nitpicking through it, because it sounds good on the ah, sounds nice and resonant and ringing and vibrant. But do we want to always have to sing an ah-ish vowel on that pitch is the question.
True. Okay. At least it's sounding fine. That's what I'm happy about. I know if I go for a recording now, I'm not going to feel depressed about anything anymore.
No, you've got so much more consistency through here. It's just I'm just nitpicking through the vowels just so that you can make yourself more aware of it. And again, have more options vowel-wise.
Okay. I think the problem is, the way I say bone is like bone. It's still got like a bit of in it. Bone.
Well, and that's what I was saying. It's like, sometimes our speech, how we say things in speech are just not
pure.
They don't translate well into song.
Bow.
Yeah, right there. Bow, oh. It's almost like if you go into that Valley Girl kind of oh, like we have to do with the U. Oh. Going into that, I think helps a lot.
Okay. All right, let me try that. Let me keep that in mind.
Much closer.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I would even go more like almost like Valley Girl. Oh. As long as it's not like ow. Oh. Like it's a very, yeah.
Okay.
Keep it more fronted, I guess, is what we're aiming for.
Okay.
Yeah, much closer. Wanted to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
But you kind of kept it in check. Yeah, but you feel how it's like ooh, oh. The space is not that different. It's like the E to the I, where it's a very subtle difference. But if we go to ooh, it's a very different. It feels very different. The resonant energy feels different.
Okay.
But the idea here is to not make it so splatty different.
All right. Okay. Just okay.
Yes.
That's all right.
Ew.
Should get that in my head.
All right, so it went a little ah-ish there, and what's happening is that like that third note, you're pulling back a little bit and like you're setting it up with a vowel instead of keeping that consistency from the ooh right from the start.
Okay. All right, let me try again.
Okay, good. It's to me doesn't sound like a pure O, but it's otherwise consistent though in terms of the resonance. So I think that's in the end probably the most important thing is that it still sounds like the same voice and the same register and
Yeah. So that all's there now, right? That all's not a problem.
Yeah, watch that third note though, because you've done it a few times today where it's like you're like setting yourself up and bracing for that top note.
Yeah. No, I'll keep that in mind. I can feel it like even move down from like that point or whatever. Yeah, I can
Okay.
feel that. Ooh,
Get more of that you feel in your ooh, because it's starting to also darken and pull back a bit.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh. Ooh,
Okay, do that one more time. Keep the vowels as consistent as you can, because when you're helping it starts to go, oh!
Okay, all right.
Okay, go a little bit more. Okay, let's stop there, and then we'll just maybe move on to songs. Working through a couple songs or something, because I think that your voice is like on the cusp of becoming tired.
Oh, all right.
I can
It
hear
doesn't
like the
feel
vowel,
tired.
like you're having to push harder to get the sound.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't feel that tired yet. Feels pretty okay right now.
Yeah, I want to stop before you get to that fatigue.
Okay,
Yeah.
should we try the agility though real quick or not bother with that even?
It's up to you. Yeah, because it's a different coordination and degree of
Later.
athleticism. So yeah, you're not going to get tired doing that.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try that. T T T na. T na. Is that fine?
Yeah. Just watch on the way down that you don't let it fall back too much.
Okay. T T na.
Much more even than last time.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that point.
Yeah, even through the faster parts and the
Yeah.
top note, it's not pulling back. It's good.
Alright, great. I think, yeah, it's just, I can feel it. I can feel it for the first time what the muscle memory needs to be.
Good.
Yeah. T, T, na. It started up a little lower and then went higher. At least muscle memory, right? T, 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 na.
Ran out of breath.
Yeah,
Yeah, get a good breath beforehand. Yeah, and then just watch because it's starting to go like that.
right.
So just watch that you're not going to start pushing through the top notes at this point.
Okay. Tina. That.
It's getting there.
Okay. Tina.
All right, so here you have that choice. What's the top note? A?
Sharp. A sharp, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so there you can hear how it's going to more of an right? It's going into that kind of yell mode, right? Which will be fine for some things that you're singing, but the other choice would be to make sure that it stays a nice pure ah and let it turn over some point really soon.
Okay. I'm gonna try that again. T T T
Yeah, you're always running out of breath.
Yeah.
But hear the difference there, how it actually went a little bit Pavarotti on you?
Yeah,
You started to acoustically turn over.
I did. I could feel
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And so that's because you kept that and you kept things a little more stable in here. As
Okay.
opposed to when you start going to ah, everything starts going up and shortening, which is fine for some things. But it's just, again, choices. Do you want
Right.
that warmth and that fullness in the sound? Do you want something that sounds a little bit like, this open, sometimes yelling kind of sound? And that's a choice that you have, but you're training both.
All right. Okay. And
So practice this one both ways as well.
I will.
Practice this one letting it be stay open as long as you need to, and then practice letting it acoustically close off. And do the other vowels too, right? Your T-nay, T-no, not T.
Oh,
You can even do it on an E vowel, not T, and then let that, E vowel, and you're going to hear that they have a very different feel from the ah.
yeah. Okay. I'll try that. For the next one, I'll try keeping it in close. Let's see what happens. I'll try reaching it that way. T, T, na, T, na.
Yeah.
That's close, right? And now if I had to keep it open, T, T, na.
Watch the tone.
Oh yeah. That was slightly more open. It wasn't like a lot more though, right?
It was open, yeah. Well, because the other one is just starting to turn over, so it's not going to feel as closed yet as it will a couple notes out. But yeah, that's yeah.
All
And
right.
you
Okay.
can hear like the differences, and you can probably start to envision where one might be more appropriate than the other.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to get a hang of that. I feel like, I mean, every lesson I've been having with you for the last like 4 weeks has been great. Like every time I do one, I'm just learning something more each time, or like getting something else down.
Yeah,
So
you've been having some good breakthroughs these last few
yeah,
weeks. Like I feel like something's starting to click.
yeah.
Yeah, good.
I know. I feel like I'm almost like ready to like go record and not like be disappointed for the first time. Otherwise, it's like wrestling with the mic every time, and I don't want to go through that ever again. Yeah. All right. Should I try different vowels on Julia? Or should we just try the song so far?
It's up to you. You've got a few minutes left, so if you want to go through a song with me, that's fine. Otherwise, we could try like the not T, or we could try just. I
I
don't
want to try. I want to try the agility then. I want to try the agility on the naughty and stuff. Okay. No, naughty, naughty. My pitches were all
What are you
over the
starting
place,
with?
but I think
Starting with C. Okay.
yeah,
You can hear how the E, right? How it's already wanting to turn over a little.
yeah.
Yeah, so much earlier, right, than the ah. But this is exactly what you would expect.
Significantly earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. T, naughty, naughty.
Take a good low breath and then watch your alignment too, so that you can make sure that you're connecting better with the breath.
My alignment's been terrible. I've been slouched the whole lesson. I forgot about that. Sorry. Naughty, naughty.
And don't lose the intensity on the top, because it'll kind of flip. You don't want that.
Okay. Naughty. I think I'm screwing up the pitch on the way down. Slightly though. Naughty.
definitely went a little off in pitch on
Yeah.
the later one.
Let me try one more time. Naughty.
Do you hear how it's gone into head voice, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then E. On a
Okay.
G sharp, were you right? Yeah,
That's
G
A.
sharp.
That's
A?
A, right? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Naughty, naughty. And you practice like. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty weak.
Don't go into like a hoot. E. E. Let it be a full voice. E.
Okay.
Tongue. You're going E. E. Speak your E. E. Yeah. So keep the tongue there. Yeah. The tongue is changing shape. Sorry?
I need to work on coming down in fifths.
It's hard. Especially
Yeah.
a sustained, intense note higher up. To walk down on that arpeggio is hard. It's not an easy exercise, actually.
Yeah, I never realized that. I thought it was like easy to like, I just did that right now.
A little easier on guitar, I think, than voice.
That's really easy. It's just like a whole line right there.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, can we just run through the songs really quickly?
Sure.
All right.